This thing mask here. Oh, excuse me. How y'all doing out there today? Well, thank you. I'm very glad to be here today. Be part of this Mask Alive celebration. I brought my mask, and I'm trying to be a good citizen. I don't want to get anybody sick, and I certainly don't want to get sick myself. So anyway, you can see I'm a smoker. I try to hide it. I try to quit, but I just can't. Now, I go to theater. I love theater. I love to support it. Well, I used to be an actor myself back in my younger days. I was like one of them Kirk Douglas kind of guys. I know it's hard to believe, but what the heck. Anyway, I had my pleasure to meet this young man in Tucson. When I went there to volunteer, they were developing a beautiful, wonderful theatrical production called Barrio Stories. And I met this young man named Eli Renteria, and this guy was a clown. I mean, literally, he was a clown. Very talented young man. When I say Culture Coalition Mask Alive celebration asked me, gave me the honor of introducing Eli Renteria and his take on mask making. So let's check it out. All right, now how do I do this? I hope.
Hi, my name is Elijah Renteria, and I'm an artist from Tucson, Arizona. I became fascinated with the mask when I was in high school. I had the opportunity to make a commedia mask for a play in high school, I think my junior or senior year, and that was the first mask that I ever made. I remember putting it on for the first time and feeling totally overcome and taken with the character that I created. And I never felt that way before, just doing plays and just performing. And ever since then, I've never really stopped performing in mask. I always feel the freest when I'm working in mask. I think my masks generally fall into two categories: performance masks and art masks, really. My performance masks, I make them thinking about how they're going to be played on stage, how someone is going to wear them, and that really influences what they end up looking like. They're much more like characters, they're much more like people or monsters or things from dreams, from myths and fairy tales, while the other masks, the art masks I make, are much more striking. They're made to look much more like they're supposed to be on the wall. I often make them look as if they've been carved out of wood, or as if they've been made from jade or some material, metal. Something that makes them become a little more than just clay and paint. Because they're supposed to be looked at and hung on the wall as a piece of art. But even those are still meant to be worn in some way. Like, they're still not really complete until they're on a person. There's just something so transformative about the human body as it interacts with the mask. That's what makes masks so special to me. Other things, don't really have that same quality. Like, if I were to have a perfect show, I'd have instead of the mask hung on the wall, I'd have all my masks worn by people from all over the world, from all these different places. People are part of the art too. A lot of my inspiration comes from nature, from the natural world around me, but also I take a lot of inspiration from the people around me. I look at faces. Wherever I go, I find myself looking at noses, at eyebrows, and seeing how can that inform the work that I do? How can I make the masks that I make more realistic? If you look at your own face in the mirror, your nose is not quite the same on both sides. Your eyes are a little bit different heights, and so my masks often reflect that reality. I think there's beauty in that, and not striving to make everything perfect, and unnatural, but to put the asymmetry into my work is a purposeful thing that I do. Because I think the faces I see around me are beautiful, and I want to see that reflected in the work that I do, even if they're representations of gods or monsters or birds or whatever.